Frequency Matters, the RF and microwave update. I'm Pat Hindle, and I'm here with my co-host Gary Lerude. Last episode, we discussed the European Microwave Week show issue and some of the show coverage in that issue. So this episode, we cover some of the technical features and products. So what do we have in there for technical features?
So we have three articles I'd like to highlight today. One is a special report from Rohde and Schwartz. They're talking about meeting 5G test and measurement challenges. And the challenge is basically 5G isn't defined yet, so how do you test for it? There's no test system. So they basically provide some guidance in terms of how you can use commercially available test equipment to do the R&D necessary for 5G. We have a second article, which is like an applications note from Mori Microwave, and it covers basically nonlinear vector network analyzer methodologies. And they contrast the original nonlinear vector network analyzer developed in the 80s with the more current next generation system, which is the active mixed signal load pull system. Right. And that's a pretty interesting article. It's a good tutorial piece.
Yeah, I like that one because it kind of covered the whole progression of history and then where we stand today.
Right. And then the third article, which I think is really interesting, Infineon has developed a SiGe transceiver chipset for E-band. E-band being 71 to 76 and 81 to 86 gigahertz. And of course that's of interest because of the interest in 5G and LTE and the increasing bandwidth and data rates. So people are considering E-band to be the backhaul for particularly small cells. So Infineon has developed this chipset, and they've demoed a board with a GaAs PA and a GaAs LNA. And basically they've achieved almost 3.2 gigabit per second in a 500 megahertz channel with 256 QAM at 83.5 gigahertz. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, good results.
So those are articles. What else do we have?
So for products, our MVP was from Mini Circuits, and this is a new filter technology. Actually could have a big effect on the market. They've developed reflectionless filters, so instead of reflecting back the unwanted signals, they actually terminate them within the circuit. And this avoids some of the performance limitations of intermodulation and other effects that can negatively impact the receive chain. So they have pass bands from DC to 21 gigahertz available in various models. So it'd be interesting to see how that affects the market.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we have product features from API Weinschel, and they have a flexible switch matrix solution. Also from Ethertronics, we have an active antenna system for 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi systems. Mm-hmm. And our lone tech brief is from Integrated Device Technologies. They have a very wideband, low-loss, highly linear attenuator. I had a chance to talk to them at IMS. I hadn't heard too much about them because they pretty much were focused on the infrastructure market, but they're interested in expanding out into some of the other markets with their high-performance devices. So we have some really big news.
We do. We've been speaking with Qorvo the last couple days, and we're pleased to be able to break the news that they've made the decision to convert their 4-inch GaN line in Richardson, Texas to 6-inch. And that's going to take place over the next year. They basically have shown the feasibility of doing that with an X-band 12-watt power amplifier that they've developed for point-to-point. And of course, they wanted to make sure the performance was the same, but equally important is making sure that they could get the same yields on 6-inch that they can on 4-inch. So they've demonstrated 80% DC and RF yield, which is impressive. So now they're taking the steps to go fully ramp into production, which will be in about the next year. So they'll start with a 1/4 micron GaN process and then migrate to the other processes that they have, a 1/2 micron and a 0.15 micron. So pretty exciting, and we appreciate being the ones to be able to tell the world.
Yeah, we have some exclusive pre-announcement coverage. So Gary Lerude actually sat down with James Klein, president of the Infrastructure and Defense Products Groups, and did an interview about their GaN strategy. So let's take a look at the clip from that interview right now.
So let's start with the big announcement you guys are making, and we appreciate the opportunity to tell everybody first. You're converting your 4-inch GaN line in Richardson to 6-inch. What's the motivation behind that?
Well, we're excited as well. We see great opportunities in GaN. We've been a leader in the defense market. We've been a leader in cable TV. And now we really see some of our other commercial activities coming on as well. And we're to the point where we need the capacity. So we're converting into 6-inch there in Texas, and take us about a year. We've done some initial demos, demonstrated some great performance, and we're on our path.
So is it fair to say that one of the motivations would be the base station infrastructure market?
Absolutely. That's probably the most cost-sensitive market, and really we see some elasticity based on cost. So we're going to drive to a smaller form format. We're also working on things like packaging and others to get the cost down, and we think we'll be rewarded there with some great volumes.
So some of your competition feels like GaN on silicon is a better approach than GaN on silicon carbide. What's the rationale in your mind for sticking with GaN on silicon carbide?
Well, the parts of the market that we really focused on are those very high performance parts of the market, higher frequency, higher power levels, and their thermal conductivity is a big part of the performance. So silicon carbide has great thermal conductivity. We're able to get the heat away from the device and demonstrate really world record kind of performance.
And you can see that whole interview online at microwavejournal.com. We'll be hosting it on our homepage for the next week or two. So exciting news.
Yeah.
Lots of changes in the GaN market, so it's an exciting place to be these days.
Well, they're a major GaN player, and it really shows their commitment and belief in the market.
Yeah, they're really leading the market with this.
So events, it's hard to believe, but European Microwave is only a couple weeks from now. For those of you that are going, or even if you can't go, we want to tell you about our European Microwave online show daily, which is a nice portal that captures a lot of the news from companies that are exhibiting products, as well as some of the papers and other activities that are taking place. So please check that out. Go to the Microwave Journal website, and you can search for the EuMW online show daily, and you'll be able to see that. And then in particular, on Wednesday of European Microwave Week, we have the Defense, Security, and Space Forum. That's interesting this year because it's focusing on remotely piloted aircraft systems, or what I think of as UAVs.
A hot topic.
Hot topic, and it's interesting, I was reading recently that Europe is actually ahead of the US in terms of allowing trials of UAVs for different applications, including commercial. So I think we'll hear from folks in that symposium from the system level to the component level, and I bet we'll learn some things.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah. So you just got back from NI Week, and you were pretty excited about what you heard there.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I love the NI Week event. It was in the beginning of August. Their keynotes are great. I really love the keynotes. It's kind of like going to an Apple product release. They're very exciting, high energy presentations. Some of the more exciting ones were the Berlin Heart, which was developed on the NI platform. And that's a portable heart assisting pumping unit for children who are waiting for heart transplants. So it keeps them going until a heart is available. And there was also a autonomous sod excavator, which sounds kind of a weird thing, but
what is that?
It's kind of a precursor to fully autonomous harvesting equipment for farms. So it looks like a big farming piece of equipment. It actually takes the sod up and cuts it into pieces and stacks it up. And they fired it up right there from the keynote stage. So
hopefully
cool.
They didn't try to pick up the stage with it.
I don't know. And then there's also a bicycle that they outfitted with wireless sensors. So they actually had speed, acceleration, stress on the shocks, direction, all transmitting in real time back into the CAD system. So somebody in the design environment could actually see what's going on in real time. And further, they had an augmented reality app that you could actually scan the bicycle and see the real-time measurements overlaid onto the bicycle. So pretty cool stuff.
Interesting, yeah.
Also, you can't go to an NI event without hearing about 5G. They had a Nokia demo system that they used the NI platform to prototype, a 73 gigahertz millimeter wave system. So it transmitted over 200 meters at 10 gigabit per second data rate, which is one of the goals they're trying to achieve. So they used 2 gigahertz of bandwidth and a 2x2 MIMO system to accomplish this, and it had 1 millisecond of latency. So it really was kind of a first in achieving a lot of the goals for the high performance portion of 5G that we're trying to achieve.
Well, it sounds like you didn't have any reason to go outside. There was a lot going on inside.
Definitely stayed inside.
Good. Anything else for this
No,
episode?
I think that about wraps it up.
All right, well, we'd like to thank you for watching. We always appreciate that, and particularly we want to thank our sponsors for making this possible, Mini Circuits and Qorvo. And you can find out more information at their websites, minicircuits.com or qorvo.com. Thanks for watching, and we hope you'll join us on the next episode.